And now the meeting starts. If everybody could stand up, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks. Welcome to everybody. My name is Eric Lipsetz. I'm the club's first vice president. I'm substituting for Mike Falk today, who's out of town. It's a pleasure to see you here. It's a pleasure to see so many people wearing green. Today we're going to be introducing 5 candidates. I have to tell you how impressed I am that of all the people here who have done work, that these 5 people have stood up and said, I'm going to let myself suffer the slings of people telling lies about me. And these people showed up, and they stood up, and I'm glad you gave them a hand. It's really heartwarming to hear that. The primary season is over, but the primary season was like the preseason, and now the real game is on. First slide. This is what happened in the primary. No, that's the second slide. There it is. Do this. Sumter County, Democratic primary results. We had, amongst Democrats in every county in the state of Florida, we had the highest turnout. We had a 32% increase over our 2018 midterm results, a 32% increase. And how did we do that? There were 120 people from the Villages Club who poll watched, who ballot cured, who ballot chased, who texted, who worked. Some people gave every second of every day virtually in order to get ready for what we are supposed to do. Now my friends have put, that's the one that I want right now. The other one is at the end of what I'm saying. So, we made some preseason errors. For instance, we didn't start the ballot counting when we should, the ballot curing process. That is, when somebody's ballot gets kicked out, then you have to submit an affidavit along the way. We started that a week late. We're going to start it differently now. We made mistakes, we're fixing them. We had some technical issues over. Some people like me didn't know how to use Google Voice. Fixed that. We had some mistakes that we made with our outside poll watchers. They were where nobody could see them. We're not going to make that mistake again. We're going to make sure that people come, and as soon as they turn into those parking lots, the very first signs that they see are going to be Democratic signs. We are making some changes in poll watching. And we did this as a result of the feedback that we got from the poll watchers. What we were doing before, we used to give 4-hour shifts. You had to be there from 9 a.m. until 1, and then from 1 until the closing at 6 p.m. What we are going to do is, now we are aware that some people have difficulty sitting for 4 hours, especially sitting for 4 hours and not doing anything. Some people take knitting. But what we're going to do is, if you can give us any time, please do. If you can give us 2 hours to do something, great, we'll figure it out. Because one of the things that we did in the course of talking to our poll watchers and the supervisor of elections is we found out when people are voting. And we're going to take that data, and so if nobody is voting from 1 to 3:30, and there's a heavy line from 3:30 to 5. We want people there between 3:30 and 5. And so if you can give us those 2 or 3 hours to actually be there when people are voting, please do. After the meeting, if you'd like to help with poll watching, please come up and see me or any of these people up here, and we'll get back to you and tell you when, sign up and say, okay, do this particular time. The actual game right now is starting. And I know it's September, but on Monday, we are having a training session for those people who want to poll watch. Those people who want to ballot cure. If you want to ballot cure, which 20 of you have already signed up for, we need more. If you want to ballot cure, come up and see me. I'll be standing right over with the BBC people, and we'll take your name down and get you involved in that ballot curing effort. One of the things that we are also doing is we are contacting the Democrats who didn't vote in the primary and making sure that they're registered for vote by mail. Our goal, although this time it was 50%, that means here in Sumter County that 12,000 Democrats didn't vote in the primary. And our goal for the general election is 90% plus. Now, if I wanted to get your applause, I would have said 100%, but what I'm trying to do is to be realistic with you and say some people are not going to vote. Our goal is 90% plus all across Sumter County. Everybody votes. Now, this election, I came to the Villages a year ago and everybody said to me, oh, you know, the Democrats are always hiding in their holes, they can't win anything. In any event, this election is eminently winnable. Check my phone book. Chris DeSantis, 50 DeSantis, 47 Chris, within the margin of error. The big issue is, and here's the other thing, is the NPAs are being polled at, we had them at 60-40, they're being polled at 52-39 Democrat. Now, if we knock off DeSantis now, and we will crush his presidential hopes. If we crush DeSantis' presidential hopes, that leaves the Republicans only with weak candidates. And amongst the weakest of the candidates, in my view, is Donald J. Trump. We will crush him. Val Deming against Rubio, here in London. 49-47 Rubio. 49-47 Rubio, that's today's poll. But within the margin of error. According to 538, when you hear this, the Democrats are favored to hold the Senate, and we are talking about as many as 56 seats at the end of this election. We have here today Shantae Munn, who's running for CD11. Shantae. Oh my goodness, how can Shantae win in CD11? There's so many Republicans here. Well, Webster beat Loomer by 41,000 to 37,000 votes. I went to a Villagers for Trump meeting, and I am assuring you that those villagers for Trump are not going to be go ahead and happily voting for Dan Webster. What I heard there, and one comment that I quoted is Dan Webster, he never shows up. I have Republican friends who say Dan Webster never shows up. We have a chance of those 37,000 votes that Laura Loomer got, that they ain't going to Dan Webster. Those people may stick home. At which particular case, if we have our 25,000 Democrats here in Sumter County and 100% turnout, and the NPAs break our way, we are talking about 40,000 against 40,000, and that gives Shantae a reasonable shot at coming out. Now, we come back to this. This is the game. This is the game for 2024. This sits like the opening innings. And we have the opportunity here to set the stage for us to go ahead and win in 2024, and then win in 2028 and 2032. This is our moment when we have to, it's all hands on deck right now, and we are aware that everybody has to contribute. I say these words, they make me emotional. This is to beat authoritarianism. Your country is now, we are aware that some people can't poll watch. They have bad backs. They can't sit for 4 hours. They can't go inside and outside because they can't walk that far. We are aware of that, and we are making arrangements to handle those circumstances. We are aware that some people don't want a ballot cure because ballot cure involves calling voters. It's not phone banking, it's very different. This is calling somebody whose ballot has been rejected and make sure that that ballot gets counted. In the primary, I have to tell you, we left 72 votes on the table because we couldn't get the ballots cured. We will not let any ballots go uncured in this general election, I can assure you. But if you don't want to do telephone calls and you can't poll watch, this is what you can do. Right over here, there's what's called a palm card. And when you go, it's been determined that the best way to convince a voter that you know, or the best way to move a voter is to have a face-to-face contact with them. And that face-to-face contact occurs when you're paying your bill at a restaurant. Leave a nice tip. What we're asking you to do and to take these palm cards, and when you sign your bill and you close the thing that your bill comes in, the bill folder, put one of these cards in. How hard could that be? Some people will, first off, look at the market that you are penetrating. You are penetrating young people, mostly female voters, who are insane about the Dobbs decision. These are exactly the people that we want. And then they'll go back and say, oh, look, somebody dropped this in my billfold today. So we're not asking you, if you can't poll watch, you can't ballot cure, the least you can do is throw a card into your billfold when you pay a bill. We're asking you to do this. These cards are right over here. Take 10 and use them, because I think you're going to find that we're going to get the result that we want. Some people are warning. Some people are going to go, why did you put this in here? And then they'll go to the manager. And then we'll get the manager's vote. So we're asking you, if you can't do anything, just put the card in your billfold when you pay your bill. Obviously, from the way that we have decorated this place, and I also wanted to add one other thing. Do people know that the Republicans are having a golf cart rally tomorrow for DeSantis and Rubio? Got a little surprise for them. And anybody who wants to hear what the surprise is, come up and see me. It ought to be fun. Now, obviously with the bunting and the balloons, the music that you came in, we're doing something differently today. Love to see the turnout here on the odd day. We're doing this today with the Democratic Women's Club and introducing our other candidates other than the marquee candidates at the top of the ticket. A small story, I played billiards, but I play pool, I don't play billiards. And I was playing with this guy the other day, and after we had finished, he said to me, "What's going on with the Democrats here in the villages?" And I said, "Gee, Pete, what are you talking about?" He said, "You guys are everywhere." We are everywhere, everywhere. This is our chance here in the villages to make our presence known, to stand up proudly. And with that note, I am now going to introduce the Master of Ceremonies for today, the President of the Democratic Women's Club, Kiro.
Thank you. I'm fired up and ready to go. Good morning, Democrats. Good morning. And welcome to our convention of local candidates. And our reminder that, oh wait a minute, I went ahead of myself. Dang! I practiced this. Don't you hate when you practice something and then you screw it up? Okay, rewind. I need to talk to you for about 30 seconds. I'm the president of Democratic Women's Club. We usually meet on, thank you, on the third Saturday of the month. We're at Moyer. We meet at 9:30. We usually have a presenter. We're happy to have guests pop in to see what we're all about. And if you decide to join, we are more than welcome to have you be one of us. And we do welcome men also into the club. Thank you, Joe. So having said that, I am now going to change hats, so to speak, into the MC for this part of the meeting. So, I don't know if you can see it, but this is what Democrats are all about. Hate has no home here.
That's right.
Welcome to our convention. Thank you. Yes, yes. Welcome to our convention of local candidates, and our reminder that hate has no home here. We Democrats believe in government that is good for its people and therefore good for society. We support candidates who hold those same beliefs. That's why we're Democrats. That's why we vote Democratic. This morning, we have the pleasure of an up-close and personal meeting with 5 brave Democrats. Brave are those among us who are willing to step into the political arena. This cycle, we villagers are seeing a change in representation as a result of redistricting. And so it is important to know our districts for candidates, why did I write that? Oh, our districts for candidates, because one is a federal candidate. Shortly, I'll be introducing each of these amazing people individually. And I'm going to explain to you now how this is going to work this morning, because I know you're wondering what's going to happen. Each Florida candidate will have 5 minutes to speak to you. Our one federal candidate will have 10 minutes. We have a timer, Shelley Newman, Shelley Ravier, and Shelley has cards that will flag the candidates. The Florida candidates will get a 3, 4, and 5 minute flag. 3 minutes is green, they still have time. 4 minutes is yellow, time's running out, and 5 minutes, you're done. The federal challenger, to Webster, will have 10 minutes with signals at 8, 9, and 10 minutes. 8 being, you still have time, 9 being, it's almost run out, 10 being cut off. After these wonderful individuals have completed their intros, we'll move to locations by counties where the really up close and personal happens. And we'll move after everyone has been directed to where they're going, because some of you will be leaving this room and going into one or the other of the rooms that were open earlier. And there will be signs. A Lake County person will lead the Lake County voters. There she is. A Marion County voter will lead the Marion County voters. There's that sign. And Sumter County will direct you where to go. And I have those people's names, and I'll give them to you again at the end. When finished in your specific county, the meeting is adjourned. So you won't need to come back here to regroup, but hopefully you will leave with enthusiasm, because it's positive energy that'll move us forward. We don't need the doom and gloom. It serves absolutely no purpose. And that other party really has a lock on doom and gloom. So we don't want to be like them. All right. Thank you. Okay, now I have to do this all on paper. You wouldn't believe I taught for over 30 years. Do it by heart. All right. Our first brave Democrat is Shante Munns. Shante is a Democratic candidate for Florida's 11th Congressional District. That's you all. She's a native of Orange County and was raised in Orlando. She's a distinguished high school track and field coach, my husband would love that, at Lake Brantley High School, and has led the team to several titles over the last 7 years. She's a small business owner who advocates for her clients to help them navigate systems and receive the resources needed to be successful. Shante is currently the owner of 2 small businesses and understands firsthand the challenges facing today's small businesses and the communities in which they live. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Shante Munns.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Now, you know I'm a track coach. I need more enthusiasm than that. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Well, as you know, I'm a native to the Central Florida area, born and raised. Yes, I am a track coach at Lake Brantley High School. I coach both girls and boys team, and yes, I have led them to over several titles. Okay. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. I have led them to over several titles, mostly being first place. This past last year, we won district champions, state champions, regional champions, and conference champions. Okay. So as I traveled and contemplated public service throughout the district, I knew that there were issues that kept coming up on a federal level. Those issues consist of economic development, affordable health care, and protecting our environment. When it comes to the economic development, for a small business owner, generating enough revenue is one of the biggest challenges for a small business owner to face when dealing with other larger corporations. The leveling of the field is unbalanced, forcing businesses to relocate or close, causing it to be a lack of competition that would exist across a fair economy for it. The key elements that play a huge factor are BRT, which is business rental taxes, constricted lending, and supplier diversity. Often larger corporations out-invest small business owners by having more resources and funding available. Florida Tax Watch surveyed that small business owners account for 48% of the American jobs.
Wow.
48%. That means that's the fabric of the community. A lot of times when you have small businesses, they're the ones who were there before the corporations even existed. And out of that, 43.5% of the U.S. gross domestic product comes from a small business owner. And NerdWatch researched that 43% of small businesses last year applied for loans. Out of those loans, 9% were denied. 14% received partial loans, and only 20% received all. Now, a resident from Sumter County stated that there is no supplier diversity program or administrator to assist with small business owners in Sumter County. The programs that assist do not promote activities, workshops, forums, or services outside their online registration. Having a website is not equivalent to supplier diversity. The site only promotes manufacturers, distributions, and what small business owners cannot compete with. As a person in Congress, I will ensure that small business owners will have great constituent services by sponsoring such bills like the H.R. 8079. This bill introduces and removes maximum annual revenue thresholds that limit small businesses from receiving funding under a disadvantaged business enterprise program. With this being said, this gives our business owners an opportunity to succeed and thrive. Next point, protecting our environment. Our environment is essential to our existence. Water pollution has become one of the major problems here in Florida. The overgrowth of blue-green algae blooms are destroying our lakes and our rivers, causing our fresh water source to be undrinkable. 90% of our water source comes from the aquifer. And with the aquifer, water is depreciating every day, meaning that Florida is overgrowing in population. And if 32% of that water is in consumption every day, that is tripled now. After our aquifer is gone, what are we going to do? We're not going to have any water. When it comes to water, Wildwood, one of your residents reports out there that the city council stated the water is safe to drink. How can water be safe to drink when it's as dark as me? That's not safe to drink. But yet she put in a request asking for the reasons why the water is the color when it's running out of faucets. She still has yet till this date to receive an answer from the city council. That is unacceptable. In Webster, the sewages are overflowing. They fixed the sewage system 3 quadrants. Now, out of the 3 quadrants that were fixed, 1 did not get fixed. Those residents were forced to buy septic pumps, which the city does not regulate or keep in order. So every time when it rains, guess what happens? The water stands, and that causes another problem, mosquitoes. So now you have issues built on top of issues on top of issues. Issues like this cannot go unheard or unrelated, not looking at the issue that's in it. So what I'm saying is that our environment, yes, is safe to a certain extent, but we need more safety. Living in conditions like that is not supposed to be that way. Especially when you do not have proper representation in your district, when your voice is not being heard, that is a major issue. Next issue, affordable health care. Many Floridians experience a hardship due to high health care costs. 45% of our residents have experienced one or more burdens that comes from health care within this past year alone. The Kaiser Family Foundation reports 56% of uninsured adults state that they cannot afford health insurance. Reason being is because the cost is too high, or they feel that they do not need it because they cannot afford it, or they're not sure how to access affordable health care. With that being said, delaying or foregoing health care is also another cause of why people do not have health care insurance. 1/3 of adults have skipped medical treatment due to the cost. 4/10 have delayed their need of treatment due to provider change or their services being dropped. 41% have incurred debts, all from medical bills, and cannot afford housing alone. Many of our residents are worried about affording health care in the future. Why? The cost of nursing homes and nursing care centers are increasing, and coverages are being dropped constantly. Medicare costs, when you're elderly, are rising. Costs for prescriptions are being dropped. When you have a provider or an insurance company that limits you with your health, that's an issue. Health insurance should not be limited. When you're paying for coverage that you so much need, nothing is worth your life. With this being said, we have a resident in Osceola County. She went to the pharmacist to pick up her prescription for insulin. The pharmacist told her that that would be $526.70. The pharmacist then told her, even though you have good health insurance, and she was out of the pocket by having her pocket meant for that year, the amount that was owed was her 20% co-insurance amount. And she recommended that she would call her insurance company to see how they can handle the problem so she can get her insulin. That's ridiculous. Who wants to pay $526.70 for a prescription that should have been covered? No one. That woman was unable to get her medicine. Why? Because she was forced with either taking the money that she has to pay her rent or either getting her medicine. That should not be. When people are making hard choices on their health and on their living, when are we free? We're not. In essence to that, I would like to sponsor some of the current bills that are in the House, which is the HR 7230. This is the Family Healthcare Affordability Act that was sponsored by Susan Wiles. This bill modifies the requirement for determining affordability for employers as well as senior citizens and resident adults, minimizing essential health coverage under the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. Bills like this are bills that need to be supported. Right now, it's only been introduced and it's waiting to be heard. Currently, there is a fundamental disconnect between the congressional capability and the public expectations. My projection would be to close the gap by strengthening communications between constituents and Congress members.
Dante, speak up.
Speak up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So this whole time you couldn't hear me? Okay. I was just like, please don't let me go the whole time you're just now saying this. So with that being said, on August the 8th, when you go to vote, think about your livelihood. I'm sorry. November 8th. I'm behind, forgive me. I'm catching up though. November 8th. Think about your livelihood. Think about your family. Think about what matters to you. A lot of times people say that, hey, it's about the party. Let me tell you this, it's about the people, okay? It's about the people, not about the party. Because when you look at this nation, it's a bunch of different parties collectively together in one. And the parties make up the people who are the constituents. So go with what matters the most to you. Your livelihood,
your freedom, your health care, your affordable housing. All of that matters. So make it matter on November the 8th when you go and vote. Thank you again. My name is Shanti.
All right, I'm going to introduce Rodney Long. He is running for Florida Senate District 9. He was raised and educated in Gainesville, Alachua County. He attended Gainesville High School, Santa Fe College, Howard University, UF, and Adalum Bible College. Rodney is married to Kiro Long, who's in the back. They have 5 adult children, 3 natural and 2 adopted. And I give you a hand for that. Thank you for taking care of kids. 9 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. He's a business owner and CEO of 2 for-profit businesses and 2 not-for-profit organizations. He is a member of the ministerial staff of Showers of Blessings Harvest Center in Gainesville, Florida. His elected office experience includes, boy, I hope I don't forget any of this, Rodney. Elected to Gainesville City Commission, served 2 terms, served as Mayor Commissioner for City of Gainesville. He's active in Florida League Cities and National League of Cities. He was elected to Alachua County Board of County Commission, 3 terms. He served as chairman of the Board of County Commission on 2 separate occasions. He was elected president of Florida Association of Counties. He served 2 terms. He served on the National Association of Counties Board of Directors. He represented the National Association of Counties at the White House with President Barack Obama. The man's got creds. I give to you, Rodney Long.
Good morning, Democrats. Now, we should be fired up and ready to go. Give yourselves a hand for coming out early in the morning to hear candidates. I want to thank you for that lovely introduction. Democrats, we're winning. The problem is we're not on the same message. We are winning. We're governing and we're winning. And we're going to win in 2022. I started this race a year and a half ago. When I started, the district was totally different. But the Republicans gerrymandered the districts and included all of Marion County for me. Thank you very much. Anybody from Marion County? Hold your hand up from Marion County. Yeah. All right, I love you to death. 3 votes might put me on home. I represent Levy, Marion, and Alachua County in this newly gerrymandered district. But that's okay. I am visiting every local government in all these 3 counties, and I have. And I am finding out that people are concerned about people who are concerned about people and not party affiliation. Most of my district is Republican, and that's fine. The message for Republicans is, it should be, at least to me, everybody is not traumatized. There are some pretty good Republicans, there are few, but they believe in democracy. Our democracy is under attack in the state of Florida, and it began in May of 2020 with the horrific death of George Floyd that we all witnessed. In the state of Florida, this governor said that he's not going to have any protests on his streets. So we came up with the Anti-Rioting Act, House Bill 1. How many are familiar with that? Yes. House Bill 1. It makes it illegal for 2 or more people to congregate on the public rights of ways in the streets of the state of Florida if a law enforcement officer believes that you have some type of criminal intent. You can be arrested and put in jail for 15 years. There's something else you need to know about House Bill 1. How many of you know that House Bill 1 protects historical artifacts in the state of Florida? You want to know what those historical artifacts are? Yes, Confederate statues. It's illegal to do that in the state of Florida. Our democracy is under attack because of Senate Bill 90, which is the voter suppression bill. How many are familiar with that? Good. Now, let me tell you something about that. There was a time that you could take your ballot, your mother, the next door neighbor, your cousin, auntie, and everybody's ballot and vote. You can't do that anymore. You can take your ballot and the ballot of one family member. If you take more than 2 ballots, you can be charged with a felony and be arrested. Did you know that the hours of operation for the supervisor of elections office has been cut? And they must close at 4:30, but most people get off of work at 5 o'clock. I'm sure you're aware that they have moved drop boxes and almost eliminated drop boxes almost everywhere. That's called voter suppression. Are you all aware that you can be arrested and put in jail if you provide any type of substance to a person standing in line with a 100-degree temperature? You can be arrested and put in jail for giving somebody water. That's voter suppression, and that is an attack on our democracy. How many of you are aware, have you heard of the Woke Act? The whole Woke Act. Well, the Woke Act, the Woke Act prohibits schools, governments, and businesses for talking about race. Now, how in the world, we're all immigrants. How can you not talk about race in America in the state of Florida?
Yes.
We have a government and a governor who's an autocratic, and his belief is, sue me if you think I'm wrong. That's his mantra. But you don't get in fights and wars with Disney and Mickey, the biggest employer. Our democracy is under attack because in the state of Florida, they have passed a 15-week ban on a woman's freedom of choice in the state of Florida. I agree. I support a woman's choice. It's their choice. As your next state senator, I will oppose any legislation that further restricts a woman's right to choose in the state of Florida. Okay, y'all give me 1 more minute, right? Yeah. Okay, 1 more minute. I can do 1 more minute. I oppose this proposed toll road that they're trying to put in Citrus, Marion, and Levy County. My opponent voted for the funding, and if you send him there, he'll be voting for the construction. I will oppose it. On November 8th, for all you Marion County voters, vote for the person who's going to be your voice in Tallahassee. I'm Rodney Long. Thank you very much.
Our next candidate will represent District 52 in Sumter County. He is a villager. He is an ardent supporter of women's rights, better public education. I love that. Yeah. And he is looking out for the interests of people rather than the developer. And that's always a big question here in the villages. Yeah. I would like you to please welcome Ash Marwa.
I'm running in this election for state representative, and I'm running to win. The winds are shifting. Like Eric said, the Republicans are looking for other options. There are some Republicans, and I am hearing about them also. People are looking for new ways. By the way, I will have my picture and my statement in the village's newspaper, the Daily Sun. I still cannot believe it. The winds are shifting. It has never happened before, but I will be debating my opponent. on September 28th, and we will share the Zoom link with you. The winds are shifting. I want to share some of the issues, but first let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I came to America 53 years ago this month to Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh in 1969. By May of 1970, I had my master's degree. By September of 1970, I decided to stay in America, and I signed up for the draft. That was one of my first jobs. The lottery system had started. Some of you are old enough, you remember the lottery system.
Yes.
I was never called, and I don't have any bone spurs either. Now, there's just a couple of issues that have become really important. Not only the impact fee. The impact fee is, of course, keeping our taxes high. Now, the homeowner's insurance is taking on a life of its own. The state gave $2 billion for reinsurance, basically to prop up insurance companies this past May of 2022. And the insurance companies keep raising our premium, and that's not right. What I'm suggesting is we use part of the money to freeze homeowners insurance at current levels and then look for a permanent solution. The other issue that is taking front and center is another one of Brett Haig's sponsored legislation, which is the fire district in the villages. And it is nothing but a money grab from the villagers. That's the way I see it. I can go into an hour-long explanation, but I'll skip that for the later session. And it is absolutely a travesty of justice. I hope everyone will vote against that proposal. And the one thing, and I'll quickly mention this, that you don't hear about it, Florida has this arbitrary law. They give money to corporations. This year, this is the fourth year, they have given $624 million to corporations. And the corporations are returning the favor by big donations to Republican campaigns. And I can talk about that a little more also. It's not right. That money could have been used for teachers' pay, so we don't have teachers' shortage. It could have been used for homeowners insurance. It's a travesty of justice. And then villages itself, it just has been of the developer, by the developer, for the developer. Let's change that paradigm to of the people, by the people, for the people.
Next, I would introduce Stephanie Dukes. However, she has a personal emergency. Stephanie is running for Florida Senate District 13, and representing her today is her campaign manager. Make sure I get that right. Oh, where did I? Gretchen Debs Simmons. And give her a hand. She had a long way to go. Florida in Polk County. She attended Mulberry High School, where she was a distinguished member of the Mulberry High School Hall of Fame. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Social Sciences from Florida State University in December of '83. Stephanie worked at Caltran, the transportation system for the city of Tallahassee. Then she was recruited as an occupational specialist at Griffin Middle School of Leon County. Love those people who work in schools, they get it. She worked with the Miami-Dade County Public School System as an occupational specialist, business education, and dean of discipline for exceptional educational students. She received the Robert Rennick Educational Center Teacher of the Year Award in '94 and was selected as a Florida Supreme Court Justice Teaching Institute Fellow in '99. Her years of community service and philanthropy led to her interest in nonprofit management. She holds membership in many organizations, such as Zeta Phi Beta Sorority. She's a Diamond Life member, Zeta Educational Thespian Association, Central Florida Section National Council of Negro Women, member of the National Elections Committee of the National Council of Negro Women. She served as a Lake County Democratic Party precinct captain and South Lake Democratic Club past president, and induction into the Southeastern Region and the Florida State Leadership Conference Hall of Fame of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority. I give you her campaign manager, Gretchen Debs Simmons.
She stole my thunder, but we're going to start again. Good morning! Good morning! Give yourself a round of applause. Take out your so-called smartphones. That's what we're going to do first. Everybody. And it doesn't matter if you're in Sumter or Marion or Lake or wherever you are. Take out the smartphones. Type in, wherever you do your search, vote. StephanieDukes.com. Type it in now. Because even if you're in Sumter, Marion, or wherever you are, even though Stephanie is running for all of Lake and Southwest Orange County, all of you know someone, at least in Lake County. This is a time for each one, reach one. If you go to VoteStephanieDukes.com, the first thing I want you to do in your phones is to hit the star or whatever it is that you say for your favorites. Okay, this is the first thing I want you to do. The second thing I want you to do, and I would tell you to do it now, but my time is limited, is to take the share button on there and find a friend that you have in Lake and a friend that you have in Southwest Orange County and share the page with them. And ask them to share the page with someone else. Because Stephanie is the person that you want to have working with Rodney or whoever else that you elect to make things happen in Tallahassee. Okay? That's what you want to happen. Now, I'm going to tell you, I learned more about Stephanie and what she does in the community from when I come here and listen to whatever they have written down here. Because a lot of this stuff, I'm like, really? I'm going to tell you how I know Stephanie. So before Stephanie went to Florida State, Stephanie was at the University of South Florida, and she was my dorm mate some years ago. Stephanie was the person who I went up to. I was on the first floor, she was on the third floor, and I went up to her room and cried about the boys and whatever else was going on, bad grades and whatever else. Can you imagine being with someone that long? And we've gotten separated and come back together because I believe in Stephanie. Because Stephanie has smarts. Stephanie has determination. Stephanie has charisma, and Stephanie is able to reach across the aisle if necessary and work with that person and bring results. And that's what you want, is someone that comes to the table and is willing to do what it takes without compromising her integrity, without compromising the position, and get the results. That's what you want to have happen, right? Stephanie's page, if you glanced at it for a minute, there's a countdown. 51 days. How many of you think 51 days is a long time? No. Not at all. Not at all. There's some work that needs to be done. Stephanie needs some people to knock on doors. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ask you to do that. But we have young people that we want to get involved in the future of our politics, and those are the people that we need to recruit to go out there and do the door knocking. Okay?
So we need to have them, when you're doing the phone calls, you're forwarding her website, you need to forward them to her. You need to also go to your Facebook page or whatever social media you have, and it says Stephanie Dukes for Florida. That's where you need to go and bring them on board, because we know a lot of our younger people, that's where their heads are in, social media, okay? Now, I just want to say this, because how many of you have families? Raise your hands, let's see them. How many of you say that your family is a priority, okay? And that is why Stephanie is not here. It is not because you're not the priority. It is because she had put family first today. But you are a priority, and that's why she sent me, God help me. But anyway, that's why she sent me, because she just didn't want to blow it off. She wanted to let you know that you are important in making sure that she is elected on November 8th, okay? And so if she was here, she'd be asking you questions in terms of what things are important to you. And Rodney talked about the way that they redrawn the district. Stephanie has all of Lake County and Southwest Orange County. Two different types of, in my opinion, two different types of areas. And she has to do what it takes to merge those and get the issues that cover both of those counties together. I don't know what red means, but that means stop. So I'm stopping, because I believe in following the rules, but I want you to go online, volunteer. There's a place online on her website where you can tell her what your issues are, and she will respond. And if you have another event here, she says she will be here. Okay? Thank you.
All right, last but not least, by any stretch of the imagination, we have Linda Kiro. Linda is the Democratic candidate for Florida House District 26. She attended public schools and was a factory line worker. I did that too during my life. She comes from a long line of proud union workers. All right. She graduated with a business degree from the University of Wisconsin at 42 and moved to Lake County, Florida in 2017. You are brave. Since 2019, Linda has served on the Lake County Democratic Executive Committee. Linda is tireless, thoughtful, smart, and works hard with a cheerful can-do attitude. She will represent the voters of District 26 with respect and enthusiasm. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Linda Kiro.
Hello, everyone. Hi. I just want to thank you all so much for being here today and listening to us. This is, of course, we know politics is not a spectator sport, so we're all going to be asking you to do something, and hopefully you're ready to get involved, because it is coming down to the wire for all of us. So it was an awesome introduction, and that is the introduction I had, but that is also part of my speech. I'm going to give it to you anyway. I hope you don't mind. I was a public school student. I came from Chicago Public Schools. Great education. In the day, when I went to Chicago Public Schools Elementary, we had a doctor. I had my first dentist appointment in my elementary school in Chicago, in a very diverse, low-income neighborhood. It was awesome, and we need to get back to that. I don't know, why we have to spend so much money shipping people all around the country. But I think if we got a better governor, we could absolutely spend that money right here. Mom, I know what the struggles of keeping a roof over our head and food on the table feel like. My heart goes out to these young women today. I don't know how they're making it. When our factory closed in 1990, the state the union negotiated with the company, and the company negotiated with the state to allow us to collect unemployment for 2 full years while we re-educated ourselves for our next careers. That is a great thing. Free education is a must. We have got to educate our future. I took full advantage of that opportunity, and as Pat said, I graduated from the University of Wisconsin as an adult returning student. I got my business degree with high marks. I worked very hard. I was at that time also taking care of my seniors, my adult parents. My parents and my husband's parents. So I have an opportunity to also find out what Medicare and Medicaid is all about, and why we don't have that here in Florida, why we have not expanded Medicare here in Florida, I don't know. We all need insurance. It shouldn't be attached to our jobs.
Yeah.
We learned that so many years ago. All of us were out of jobs and then had no insurance. And what did we do in the meantime? We all were day workers or contract workers. We went to different companies and they paid us to go to work every day, but we didn't have benefits, we didn't have insurance. And it's only been in a short time ago that President Obama helped women by making it a law that insurance companies had to give you insurance if you had a pre-existing condition, and many women have pre-existing conditions. I am so upset about the current abortion status of Florida. Even though we know Florida is still legal to have an abortion, what they have done is make women the problem. Women are not the problem. We need to support our women. I've had the opportunity to travel the world. I went from factory to factory. I know what factories look like in China. I know how they have to actually go live at their factory. We need factories here, and thank President Biden for the CHIPS Act. We can make our country work again. We can give our young people jobs, good union jobs, and we need that. We need insurance, we need all those things, and we need unions. I feel bad for all these young people that are working in McDonald's. McDonald's has a lot of cash on hand. They can pay their employees. They can give them benefits. Why? Why aren't they? Why isn't there corporate morality? That's why we need unions. Corporate morality isn't a given. We have to fight for it. So I want to say that my campaign slogan is Linda Kiro Cares. And there's many things that I care about, some of which I just told you, but I care about pardon me, it brings a tear to my eye. I care about human rights. Why are children now being attacked at school for feeling like they might be gay, or feeling that their parents are gay, or even wanting to talk about gay? We have to stop that, and I will oppose that at every opportunity. Women's rights, I will vote on. I will have a very loud voice at the table. Get me to the table. I'll make some noise for us. Sensible gun legislation. We have, here in Florida, it's pretty wild, folks. When I got here, I did not research the political climate here in Florida. I came for the weather, I came for the environment, I came for to be near the happiest place on earth. But the gun situation here in Lake County, we have schools that the parents, the PTAs, I don't know what the actual name of their group is, but they have raffled off ARs for their parties. So we have bulletin boards up with their numbers. Please, call our school board. I've been there, it's a fight, but leave your name and number. That means I'm done, but thank you all so much, I really appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from each of the 5 brave people who are in the arena. 50-some days left. They need support. That means obviously voting on election day or during early voting. And an interesting fact, if you are going to early vote, or if you have a vote by mail, send it in as soon as possible, because then you are taken off of, I forgot. You are taken off of the get out the vote list, the ones that they use to call people to remind them about voting. And so the resources that would be used to call you, because you're going to vote, and you're going to vote as a Democrat, those resources filter down at levels where they're needed more to get in touch with people who are maybe not as active voters as you all are. So keep that in mind. So voting, and then also volunteering, time, if you have time to help any of these candidates in whatever way they need. One person can't do everything, but everyone can do something, and that makes the work less on one particular individual. Thank you. And then, of course, support their campaigns financially. Every little bit helps, every lot helps more, whatever you can. And I can tell you, I spend a lot of time on my phone replying to emails, $10 there, $5 there. And it doesn't seem like very much, but if hundreds of people do it, it adds up. So do all you can for them, because they will, upon being elected, do all they can for us. Thank you again to candidates for being here this morning, sharing your enthusiasm, your positive attitude. We care about people. We care about programs that help society. That's why we vote. That's why we're Democrats.